Just checking out the online shop. Uploaded some new gear over there, including Black Panther wear, Panther power, and whatnot. But yeah, I was, just in conversation with some family earlier, and it just, several different points were brought up, made me just want to touch on different stuff, because it's a lot of shit going wrong with the world at this point. You got the Maui fires, just Hawaii's on fire, and I got family who stays out there, different island, similar sentiment. I wish the people nothing but love, and I hope they're all right. I'm hearing they have to jump into the water to avoid being burnt. It's a concerning sight to be seen. All this stuff. This is going to be a monumental task to get this whole thing right. It requires a lot of money. Um, Unfortunately, the hundreds of billions that could go towards fixing this whole predicament is instead being used to prop up Nazis in the Ukraine. Now I get it. We're told that it's a democracy. It's like the most corrupt country in Europe. It's supposedly a democracy, and I understand why people think that because we're told America is a democracy, and we got Nazis in our government running shit. They got Nazis running shit in their government. It's like okay, same. Slightly different. They're also getting game from senior Nazis and NATO. Look up Operation Gladio, Operation Paperclip if you unfamiliar with the history of how our government NATO were bombarded by Nazis, and we never had like a moment where we were like, hey, let's get these Nazis out of our government so we can stop having these needless wars and experimenting on people. It's still like goes on to this day. That's why they never addressed it in the news. Operation Mockingbird. News is run by the CIA at this point. But yeah, it's like all these trillions of dollars funneled to the war machine. Hundreds of billions going directly to the corrupt crooks in Ukraine. Meanwhile, we got American cities literally on fire. In the case of what's going on in the island of Maui. And figuratively, they've been on fire for decades. When you look at like the zombie drug and all of the poverty and depths of despair on the American streets, and this is like all we could think to spend our money on. However, this is I guess this would be the rainbow after the cloudy sky. Remember when a bunch of people were coming together to protest the transgenders not being able to get into the military? They were like, let our transgenders kill brown people. Let them go over there and just murder them with no real purpose other than they are foot soldiers for corporations that run our government. Um, I was one of those people. I'm kind of crazy. I'm not saying I was just like we shouldn't let transgender people into the military, but I'm equally for taking everybody out of the military when it's run by corporations. So I don't want to see transgender people killing brown people who didn't do anything, and I don't want to see cisgendered heteronormative people slaughtering children either. That's just my position. But my position didn't win out, so now we have equality. And let's see what that looks like in the Ukraine. So if you're unfamiliar with the story of Gonzalo Lira, he is someone who was covering what was going on in the Ukraine for the past few months, years at this point. Um, but he was on the ground in the Ukraine, pointing out the hypocrisy, the lies that we were being told, and he was viewed as a Putin propagandist. And since we're bringing democracy to the Ukraine, they locked him up for having opposing views of the government, and he was tortured for a few months. Then he got out, and he was worried that he'd be sent to a labor camp and die, since like they don't have First Amendment rights or any of the telltale signs of being a democracy. So he tried to flee across the border. He made a video saying he was going to flee, and of course he was captured. But who captured him? None other than one of the transgender soldiers in the American propaganda network, appointed to be in charge of the Ukraine. And this is what that person had to say about Gonzalo Lira.
There's a reason you haven't heard from Gonzalo Lira yet, with his so-called attempts at asylum in Hungary. It's because the state security services, better known as the SVU, are some of the most talented and focused law enforcement agents across the globe. And in doing so, they knew where Gonzalo Lira. There's a reason you haven't heard from Gonzalo Lira yet.
All right, so
with his so-called,
they're saying that the people running the Ukrainian intelligence agencies, they're some of the most talented detectives in the world, or not detectives. She didn't say detectives. I want to use the right pronouns. I keep saying they, but I'm just saying that because I think she has some kind of a mental disorder, maybe multiple personality. I don't know. This is just some crazy shit to say. Be like, yeah, no, you didn't hear from Gonzalo because they were tracked by some of the best predators in the world. Like this is like these are the descendants of the people who tracked down Anne Frank. This is like these are, what is it, the Jew hunter and Inglorious Bastards. That's who tracked down Gonzalo Lira, and he was already telling the stories about how he was tortured and stuff like that. And this hit pretty close home to me because I've already had issues with censorship. Because this is like the information czar telling us what's allowable information, and Gonzalo is finding out firsthand what's not allowed because he overstepped the line by telling the truth as he saw it and being tortured for several months. And now he's no doubt being tortured again. People have speculated he's dead. But yeah, it's just the fact that they're normalizing this stuff, and this as we spend hundreds of billions of dollars because Ukraine is the only democracy in the area. It just shows how full of shit all of our leadership is. And that's I ended up watching a movie I had no idea existed. It's called the Price of the Ticket. It's about James Baldwin. It was made right after he died. It starts off with his funeral and stuff like that. And it talks about some of the persecutions that he had undergone. And I see a lot of parallels between then and now. Like our government agencies gotten directly involved into killing civil rights leaders, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Medgar Evers, JFK, obviously, his brother, all that stuff. And it's just like anybody who tries to do something to awaken people, change the status quo, immediately gets vilified, immediately gets targeted by the evil entities that run these governments. And well, yeah, and it's just a shame. But I also think it's hard for people not to wake up because they're trying to pass policies to make it seem like they're giving money to Maui after this devastating fire. But yeah, of course, majority of everything they give is going to go to the war machine, and most of the little icing on the cake that they try to give towards the Maui situation is just going to be funneled to more corruption. It's kind of disheartening, but I take solace in the fact people are waking up to it, and well, I encourage everybody to get involved to try to do something. I ended up taking, not taking the summer off because I ended up working throughout the summer, but I had a little bit more extra time. I wasn't in school, and yeah, I've been just taking part in different movements, and one of the bigger things I think needs to be addressed is uh, the inexplainable amount of money we spend towards the war machine, and how we can like make psychopaths who are prepared to make billions of dollars off of killing people, um, without just saying, "Hey, I don't need all this money. I got more money than I can ever spend. I just want more money and power, robot dogs for when the people come after me." You know, the fact that we're putting all this power in these private corporations' hands, the power of life and death, no accountability. Never seen a billionaire do a day in prison in my whole life. Um, I think that shit needs to be addressed. And well, you know, I'm in the belly of the beast in many ways, but I guess each area has their own beast. You know, like you could be in Raytheon country, Boeing area, Northrop Grumman, wherever you are. Some way they're feeding the beast, and it's time to disrupt that shit. And just having growing successes and get movements together. And I would encourage you to participate in the historic moments being made right now. Almost missed it. Yes, almost. But now you're here. Nothing to fear. I know this is kind of spontaneous. It was just, it's a lot of stuff going on today, you know. Normally do the shows on Saturday. I'll still be doing mine on Saturday, but you know, I was talking to family a lot. You know, today is the 6th anniversary of me losing my dad. He died August 11th, 2016. And yeah, in many ways, this shit going on in Ukraine and his situation are related, because he worked at a military base that was knowingly poisoning him. He made like battleships and all that shit, and they knowingly exposed him to all these carcinogens, all these toxins that gave everybody there cancer. Same with my mom. She worked at a different military base, Air Force base. Same song. Just about if you work at any military base, if you get recruited into the fucking um, military at all, and I'm dealing with this with other family right now. They're working at bases that are knowingly dumping carcinogens into the water. They're not dealing with it. And yeah, and while we say we can't like fix stuff back at home, we can't do anything about homelessness. We're spending trillions of dollars to poison our water, to kill people, steal their resources, so we can get more toxins to dump into the soil and air. So it's nothing that's not giving you cancer. And if you work around any of these fields, like you have a higher likelihood of cancer. So it's just, you know, if you're benefiting from this shit at the time, you need a question. You need to understand, you know, what is ahead of you. They don't give a shit about you. They'll probably get you to, you know, like Will O'Neill. He was the one who got the information that he provided to the FBI so they can kill Fred Hampton. And it was like an old interview from him in the 80s. After he got paid off, he got like a gas station, all this shit. Then he saw the world that the FBI wanted to build, and and then he understood what Fred Hampton and the Black Panthers were trying to do to change it, and he killed himself because he just like couldn't deal with it anymore. Don't be Bill O'Neill. Don't, you know, you need to be a love warrior who knows what you're fighting for, not a soldier for the corporations, because yeah, they have you fucked over. They don't give a shit about you, chew you up, spit you out. If you don't get cancer, they'll gladly let you languish in poverty in the streets. Just go talk to at least 5 homeless people. Guarantee at least like 2 or 3 of them will be veterans. Government forgot about them. Hey Nate, it's good to see you. It seems that money is humanity's weakness. I think humans could have been so different. Well, I mean, the concept of money, it's not the worst thing. The fact that you have certain people who are so broken that they can get more money than they will ever be able to spend, and they continue to siphon money from taxpayers. That's the biggest weakness in humanity. Because like that's how we uphold people with genuine mental illnesses. Like if you were hoarding any resource to that extent, you had more cats than you would ever be able to pet. People will think you're crazy. Like what is wrong with you? You just got cats dying that you forgot about, never even met. You know, like it would seem like something is genuinely wrong with you. But when it comes to money, people got like levels of money that they can't even calculate. But it's not enough because they're comparing themselves to the next person with an extra zero or an extra decimal point or whatever the fuck, you know. And what can you get with 2 billion that you can't get with one? Every level of our government. Um, so yeah, it requires waking up to the fact that the biggest criminals in this world are the richest ones, and we need to build a prison strong enough to hold the rich people. We need to have some kind of a system that holds them accountable. You know, because we can't rely on just people to be honest and upright, and because there's a lot of money. We're talking about hundreds of billions of dollars. And it was a cat from BlackRock who was saying they don't, senators are less than $10,000, right? You $10,000, you got a senator in your pocket, right? When you got $1 billion, I mean, where's the limit? And that's what we need to do: impose limits. I mean, it's easy to do if you have tens of millions of dollars and you continue to you own lobbyists. For you need to be investigated. What's the point of a lobbyist? To facilitate corruption. Lock them up. We don't need a corrupt system. We need to do away with all the mechanisms that continue the corruption. That includes people whose whole job is to corrupt politics by people. If you got a lobbyist, you got to go to jail. Also, if you're in office, you're struggling, you come from nothing, you genuinely intend to help the people, and someone comes by with a $10 million check, to grease your wheels, and they say if you don't take this money and do as they say, they'll spend that money on a hitman. We need to have a system to double those bribes, right? What I mean by that is, like if someone tries to bribe you to poison the water, so they can make money with the company, or they want to mandate some medicine that they're going to profit directly from, uh, you can acknowledge their bribe and have that bribe doubled once we lock them up, because once they're locked up, of course that money is, you don't get to stay with that money. You don't get to be a billionaire. Because when you have more than $1 billion, that's just enough money to buy governments. That's enough money to stay out of prison. That's why none of Jeffrey Epstein's client list went to jail. It's like we got this world-renowned sexual predator of children who was buying and selling children for decades, but there's no one who we could acknowledge he sold children to. Who are these people? He's got pictures with a lot of billionaires, with Bill Gates, Bill Clinton, all the most powerful people in the world, princes and all that shit. But nobody's doing time. You just got to think about all the people who we have dirt on. We have actual evidence that they were in the same gravitational pull as Jeffrey Epstein. They're all billionaires with politicians in their pockets. Some of them are politicians. A lot of them are. So it's just we gotta have something where the people who were bought off, they can go, okay, this person, he tempted me with 10 million because I was remodeling a house, but I don't want him poisoning water. So they could just go to some organization, and then if they're honest about it, have provable documents. They get their bribe doubled as we lock up the billionaire. And a hitman, instead of killing someone, you could be like, oh, they gave me $10 million to kill this politician. I don't want to do it, and they can get their money doubled. And then they make more money doing the right thing, and then we lock up the crooks. Yeah, that's like, I mean, I feel like it's something that would have to take place, because when we talk about that kind of money, no one wants to give it up easily, and they're just going to resort to all the tools that that have worked for decades. That's like buying people and killing them if they can't be bought. So, yeah, that's the only way to fight back. I can think of facts, Tiamat. Yes. And I'm also realizing I don't even know if this is strand. But yeah, it's just it's a lot to drink in. But I'm also hopeful, because one of the people who made me want to really just stay in Seattle, Shama Sawant, she was the one who was behind the $15 minimum wage. She also like took a pledge. All the money she makes over the Seattle median income, she donates. So it's not about money for her or having power over anyone. She's starting like another national movement, Workers Strike Back, which is like a third party alternative. And I like to think she's doing it because the DSA is garbage. I mean, they endorsed and continue to endorse Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, garbage. Like, she was someone who had like promise in the beginning until she started to govern, and you just realized who she was. She showed who she was. Calling Nancy Pelosi Mama Bear, voting for every war, voting for the upward transfer of trillions of dollars, and just wearing like BLM pins while she does it. Like, that makes her somehow better. But yeah, and then also like when the pandemic hit, I was organizing with the DSA like up until the beginning of 2020, and then they started having emails and text messages sent about like the upcoming events, and they all required proof of vaccination. And I was like, "You're asking me to show my papers, like just to show up, for this political revolutionary group? If y'all were really what you said you were, you would be protesting this shit. We'd be coming together to stop government overreach." But yeah, they ended up just falling in line. They were the people who were wearing masks when they were in the car by themselves. It just got pathetic. But Shama, I guess I guess it's good she's doing her own thing. But I got an interview coming up, and I got some questions, because yeah, it does get pretty muddled. Her opinions, separating them from DSA's, and just getting the straight dope. Because right now, a lot of what I'm saying is just speculation. I would like to get to the bottom of some of this stuff, see if she agrees with what they did, because that's intolerable in my opinion. But yeah, there will be a upload shortly. I just finished editing or just adding watermarks to an older video. Rhymes with Schmobo Schmop. And I'll be uploading that to NatesVlogs.net. I want to tap in with y'all, and now I'm about to explore what I want to do tonight. And also, I will be doing the same live show tomorrow, but I'll probably do it a little earlier, 5ish, maybe 6. I'll set some kind of a reminder on Rumble. Like I'll do it like it'll be like the show starts at 6 or 5. Well, I'll decide that as the day goes on. But yeah, got a lot of stuff to get through and a lot of stuff to share. So right now I've been waiting for like a video that I wanted to share with you guys. It was like at the event where I got to meet Elaine Brown, the Black Panther, and still haven't gotten the full video. I just got little snips and snails, and I wanted to do it one time with all the information. But I might just take what I got and make a different video later, or just hopefully get to the bottom of where the fuck the whole video is, because it was an amazing moment. And plus, a good amount of it, I think my friends and family need to see it, because I like find myself having debates with people who really consider themselves Black Panthers and appreciators of the culture, and they're all about that stuff. But then like they vehemently disagree with me on something. But then like Elaine Brown, when she was talking about how the Black Panthers were formed, like she just confirms a lot of what I was saying. So it's just we're gonna do something with that. We're gonna find that whole video eventually. But then someone also said that they might not post it to the public, but I don't know. So just stay with me on that. If I can't get the whole video, I'll just upload what I do have and turn that into something. So NatesVlogs.net for the upcoming upload. I just put some more stuff on there, new shirt designs and whatnot. And I'm gonna be uploading more of these. So right now, this is the newest one. It's the Panther Power, and it's gonna have different colors. So right now that's gold. You can get it. Got a litany of different colors: red, green, blue, reflective, glow in the dark, whatever you want. So I just gotta upload that, and then I'm gonna upload the other design, the older one. Yeah, just stay tuned for all that. NatesVlogs.net. Panther Power shirt.